Shalane from TSE Tuition, and today I'll be reviewing a statement of intention for a creative response to Like a House on Fire. The statement of intention that I'll be looking at today comes from ATAR Notes. I think it's from a student of 2018 or 2019. I'll put up the link below in the description box. Looking firstly at this statement of intention and comparing it to the one that I talked about last week, this one is far too long. So it suffers from the opposite problem of the Golden Age statement of intention, which is that one was too short and this one is too long. Like I've said in the previous video, typically statements of intentions are around 300 words, 400. At some point, some students have told me that they were allowed 500 words, but you know, those were far and few between. So typically it's around 300 words, which translates roughly to about 3 short body paragraphs or 2 long body paragraphs. So let's have a look at this statement of intention and see what could be cut out of it to condense it a bit. I think overall, reading through the statement of intention, what really stands out to me is that this student has given a lot of explanation as to almost every choice that they've made. But what is not really present in the piece is how it all comes together to achieve an overall effect or aim or goal or purpose or whatever it is that you want to call it. There's a lot of, I've done this, I've tried to do this, I have created, you know, X, Y, and Z, but there's not a lot of discussion about how that reflects Kate Kennedy's choices in her short stories. So I think overall, this statement of intention suffers from looking too closely at the detailed decisions that the student has made and lost sight of the bigger picture of what Kate Kennedy was trying to achieve. So while there is some discussion or mention or reference to specific things that Kate Kennedy has done, like personification and the use of long and short sentences and some turns of phrases, there's not a lot of discussion about what all of those things come together to achieve. So is it that Kate Kennedy uses all of these things to create a sense of intimacy between, you know, reader and the characters, or is it more about how the relationships between the characters are, you know, more authentic? So the overall effect of what is happening in the text is not really present, and that's a problem because then that means we're not really getting the context of the analysis that's happening. And I think if we could switch that around in this statement of intention, where we start with the overall context of what's happening, so, you know, the effect that the author is trying to achieve, and then bringing that down into these are the things that the author has done to try and achieve those thematic effects, whatever goal, purpose, and then out of that, talk about what the student has done, and therefore, you know, I have chosen X, Y, and Z creative response choices to try and mimic, expand, explore, you know, whatever theme that the student has identified. I think that would give it a bit more structure to the piece. Because at the moment it's a little bit rambling. It's talking about lots of choices that the student has made, but not necessarily in any kind of direction. It's almost like a list of dot points, I would say, in terms of what is happening in the text, in the statement of intention. And when you're writing something so short, you know, 300 words is not a lot, you need to have a very set intention and purpose to what it is that you're doing. And I'm not really getting a sense of that here. I'm getting a really great sense of what the student has done in the creative of response, but I don't really get a strong sense of why, or to what purpose, or to what end. And so out of that, I would say this is probably somewhere around the low, high, mid, a high, mid, low, high sort of 70s, 80s sort of range, but the length of it and the overall structure and movement of these of this discussion is really detracting from what the student, I think, is capable of. So I hope that was helpful. As always, like and subscribe to all of our social media channels so that you can get our latest tips and tricks to achieving your best in your English subject. And as always, if you'd like to get some one-to-one tutoring in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne, please contact us and we can send someone to you. Thanks for watching.